Who are they picking today? What are we looking at team comp, guys?
So LadyWabeesh, we know that she is a Catherine main. I'm expecting that. All right, here it is. So Zekent on Saw, the stutter stepping, the high-level play from this former Team Curse pro. I can't wait to see that. NickAtNyte going with Taka, one of the jungle assassins. He's going head-to-head, his opposite Captain Molt on Krull, that undead Viking with that sword through his chest. ShinKaigan on Celeste, the newest hero. So that tells us it's going to be a Saw versus Celeste matchup in lane. Very interesting, an artillery mage versus just a heavy-duty sniper. And then Gibbs, he's Vainglorious. He's the highest tier of skill that has been discovered in Vainglory so far, and he's on Kashka, my favorite.
Yeah, this is actually going to be a really crazy lane. We have ShinKaigan versus Zekent. I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, one of the interesting things worth noting, we're starting out right now. You can see we've got Saw versus Celeste here in the lane, and this team up is going to be really interesting depending on what Zekent buys. If Zekent goes weapon, then ShinKaigan's going to have the natural advantage because that core collapse right underneath the weapon saw when he's suppressing fires is going to be really, really brutal. However, if he ends up going crystal, he is going to be constantly stabbing ShinKaigan in the head and shanking and rolling backwards, and ShinKaigan's going to have a real struggle.
So you get the sense early just with the way that Zekent cleared those lane minions that he is tryharding right now. He's probably got a little bit of a bitter taste in his mouth from yesterday. I think he's going to take it to Shin today. But I want to hear from you. So Celeste, an artillery mage, can lob those stars over the front line. Saw a very different type of laner. What do you expect from this? What is it going to mean for one of these players to outplay the other in lane?
Well, it's really going to take an item choice early on. In order for ShinKaigan to harass more effectively against that Saw, he is going to need to ensure that he is going to be able to drop a star on his head and that the suppressing fire is not going to hurt him more than he's hurting Saw. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, should we take a look at what's going on in the jungle? Because it's kind of interesting. Both teams right now are clearing their sides of the jungle. No jungle invades just yet, which is kind of interesting. The jungle team comps are interesting. You may want to talk about those as well.
Right, so first off, on the orange team, we have Kashka, who can engage with her Yummy Catnip Frenzy ultimate when she gets to 6. That is a lockdown. ShinKaigan on Celeste has a stun with core collapse. It's a skill shot. It's hard to land.
Okay.
And Krull, his ultimate from Hell's Heart, that Hellraiser sword, he pulls it out of his chest and throws it at the opponent, and that can be a stun. The longer the sword travels, the farther the sword travels, the longer the stun. So I'm looking for stuns for days from there. Can they get a lockdown and then get a stun and then get another stun and take somebody out? We'll look for that. What are you looking for on the other side with Saw, Catherine, and Taka?
So I think we have a really interesting team comp today because only one team has a true tank, a true heavy, and that's LadyWabeesh on Catherine on Team Blue. That's going to be her job to really ensure she sets up the plays for both of her damage dealers. She's got 2 really good damage dealers with her, and she's already, you know, we see her right here jungling with Taka, making sure he's getting all the gold, all the last hits. On the orange team, however, we have a jungle that is composed of a bruiser and an assassin, and they're going to probably try, and as you can see here, they're actually warming up to see if they can get an early gank, though if you notice, Zekent is not going to be so silly as to cross that middle yard line. It's going to be an interesting show to see which team ends up utilizing their core strengths.
And for anyone who's already a Vainglory player, yes, you are seeing a Saw skin. We unveiled skins here at PAX. Yes, you are seeing spectator mode also unveiled here at PAX. So we've had a lot of surprises. It's been really fun. For anyone new to Vainglory, this is entirely free to play on the Apple App Store. And now we just announced the Android beta, which is underway. And it is free. It is 100% mobile. It is cross-platform. And this is our own evil engine. This is a proprietary engine technology built from the ground up to bring core gaming to touchscreens. So this is unapologetically core on mobile, and we hope you enjoy it.
Now we have Zekent, and he's a little bit forward, depending on his teammates. The other orange team is a little bit aggressive right now. They feel like they have a bit of the advantage, and blue is backing off in accordance. It's an interesting trade because right now both teams are playing it very conservatively. They're farming their jungles. They're not really doing invades to the other side. I'm not exactly sure which team is going to be coming out on top, but if we notice in their item builds, all of them are getting their tier 2 items now, getting really close to getting their first of their tier 3s.
So you see there are 3 objectives that you're keeping an eye on here. In the middle is the gold mine that will continue to accumulate gold. It is a capture and hold point. When someone captures the gold mine, it will pay out all that gold to their team, and from that point they control it. The other team will have to take it away from them. So you see a lot of standoffs there in the brush near the gold mine, and then you have a jungle shop in the middle of the jungle. You're not safe, but you can shop there so you don't have to recall to base. So a very efficient way to play, but also makes it very precarious, and it looks like we might have our first, no? So, you know, a little bit gun shy here. No one wants to make this first mistake.
Here we go. LadyWabeesh on the stun.
So a little bit of a skirmish. Nacho, here comes YummyCatNyte, or here comes the Pouncy Fun from Kashka. Follows up on the Taka. Early on, Kashka more powerful than Taka, and you can see it here. She's got a boosted basic attack, and she's able to finish off Taka with a twirly death. Down goes Taka. Down goes Zekent.
Oh, that was incredible.
And Celeste is 6, so that is a Solar Storm. And our first big fight goes the way of Shin and Gibbs. They're going to look to capitalize and get a gold mine. You saw a scout trap blow up. That is because it was planted there for vision on that jungle objective.
Nice.
And that is the first big moment of the match.
That's the first big moment. So I want to talk to Ed the Shred really quick. So Ed, tell us, you are a master Catherine player. You are known and you are feared for playing Catherine. LadyWabeesh, she's really the only tank in the game, and her Catherine is going to be setting up plays. What do you feel LadyWabeesh is going to need to do in order to really make sure her team comes out with a victory?
Yeah, this game is going to be, mid-game is going to be about mobility. It'll be interesting to see. They have, Koshka is an incredibly mobile assassin on the enemy team. So what's very important for Catherine is that she can protect her team, and mobility is going to be key. It'll be interesting to see if Catherine builds boots next, or if she manages to finish Warhorn, which would give her entire team mobility. Yep. I feel mobility for the blue team right now is going to be the key.
Yes, I totally agree. And actually, we're noticing that in the harass that Zekent is suffering from Celeste, ShinKaigan's doing a phenomenal job at keeping him low and keeping that threat really, really high. He's going to have to hug the turret, make sure that he stays safe. The enemy team has assassins, that one of which can go invisible and pop out of nowhere. So he's going to have to be really, really cautious. If you notice, he's not venturing very far from home.
The other interesting thing is you can right now see the purple team have just taken their minion mine, which means the lane will start pushing. That means that automatically the balance is going to start shifting in the lane toward the purple team, and that means they are likely going to start pushing soon, which should lead to further confrontation. Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Yep. So purple, orange, red, spectator mode so new. We got to figure out what color we want to call these things, or we want to give them names. But yeah, interesting to see Shin. He can zone with Heliogenesis with those stars that he places. He can harass with them, and looks like he's a lot more comfortable than he was in that first sequence.
And for a lot of users, this may be the first time that you see Celeste, especially in a match with players that are at this skill level. And ShinKaigan has been really, really.
A core collapse and it's over.
Where was Catherine when Catherine was needed? That is a classic 3-man gank on lane.
How to watch the minimap.
Here we go, guys.
And a turret might go down off of this as well. LadyWabeesh, not much she's going to be able to do. There's a Merciless Pursuit that stuns Krull, but he's able to escape easily.
Yeah, that was just an absolutely beautiful play. They were all waiting there. Zekent had no idea that they were in there, and all 3 at the same time went in on him, and it was a beautiful, beautiful run.
So Krull, who can dash out with Dead Man's Rush, Kashka, who can come out with Twirly Death, or who can engage with YummyCatNyte Frenzy Lockdown. They're looking for more opportunities to start a fight on their own terms.
Over behind us.
Now we are officially moving into about mid-game, and you're going to see that a lot of items, a lot of really high damage or really powerful items are going to be coming into play really, really soon here, and a lot of team-based items. If you notice right now, the job for Team Blue is going to be figuring out what to do about that gold mine. It's going to pay out 300 gold to Team Orange in the next few seconds. You can see in the middle of the map, right above their heads, there's that. Oh, no! We just saw Zekent go down. ShinKaigan using that core collapse again beautifully.
Gotta be quick on the new spectator mode.
Yeah, I know. ShinKaigan's bursting them faster than following them.
Some more poke with Heliogenesis, and if you're noticing that explosion and you're new to Celeste, she can place a second star and trigger a supernova on the first, so that's when you get that AoE damage. Kashka comes on the Taka, the sword catches, and there's a YummyCatNyte Frenzy Lockdown, so there you just saw, we talked about it earlier, the combination stuns, so we have Krull with his sword full length. That's going to be a long stun, and Yummy Catnip Frenzy with the lockdown. Nothing Taka could do except litter his carcass with the Halcyon full.
So what would your advice be to LadyWabeesh on Catherine? Is there any move or
Yeah, I think if you look at the gold balance right now where the game is, it's 0 to 5 in kills. The gold balance isn't runaway just yet. They've got to figure out a way to get that gold mine over time. So what is really important right now, I think, is for the blue team in particular to farm. At this moment in time, they clearly cannot win a team fight. They are not itemized as well as the red team, so that means the blue team's got to farm. They're going to find a way to get gold. Farm, find a way to get gold mine, get back into this game, itemize against the red team right now. I continue to feel mobility right now is probably the way to go, but it'll be interesting to see what she'll build.
Another gold mine payout will not help blue's cause.
Yeah, it's tough because that team fight was a turning point and meant they could not contest the gold mine payout. The gold mine payout ended up going to Team Orange. Right now, we see that they have a pretty handy lead, and ShinKaigan is putting out significant bursts with Celeste. When I've been playing Celeste on live, you'll notice when you go utility, when you're buying things like Void Battery and these kinds of things, that ultimately you may not feel like Celeste has a lot of power early on, and against a Saw, she may really suffer. But in this case, ShinKaigan has been doing a phenomenal job of keeping his lane presence and domination on top of George.
All right, George being Zekent and abilities.
Both teams are lining up here.
Gibbs looking to come in. There's a Pouncy fun. LadyWabeesh peels with a
there's a counter engage. There's a counter engage.
There is a big roadie run. Shank just dropping the life. Gibbs with a reflex block as Yummy Catnip Frenzies. There's a counter reflex block.
And the chase!
There's the ace. The ace.
Zekent goes down. Gibbs with some clutch play under fire. That's what Koshka does. She lives right on the edge of death and life, and it goes in her favor. Another big...
How I wish we had instant replay right now.
That was beautiful.
They will take the other minion mine. This will give them the pushing power that they need to push that next turret. And they're able to steal a whole bunch of jungle farm from the enemy team.
Yeah, if you're following along right now and you're curious what is the progress of the game, you can always look at that mini-map and see how much is one color versus the other. When you're seeing a lot of orange, that means Team Orange is actually dominating. When you see a lot of blue, that means Team Blue is. Right now, we're seeing a lot of orange in the jungle. Both minion mines held by Team Orange. We see that the gold mine is still held by Team Orange. They're going to get near that 15-minute payout of the gold mine. Right now, blue team must reclaim jungle. They must get vision in order to be able to become a threat.
The vision game here really is key because, as you can see, those little red dots on the minimap, they are actually scout traps, which means they give the red team vision over what's going on in the jungle.
They're landmines. There you see one trigger. They grant vision until they are exploded. NickAtNyte on Taka looking to make something happen. He can engage with X-Redsu. He has Kaitan, which while he's flipping there, so there's X-Redsu into the Kaitan, and they get a kill. They really needed that. Gibbs fighting back. Taka in pursuit. Now we're into the mid game, so as Koshka starts to fall off, Taka will be able to trade a little bit better with Koshka, looking to pick a fight, and he finds one, and the suppressing fire from Saw. Koshka starting to back off, but looking for more.
So Gibbs thinks he's got it.
Another boost.
He's got it.
Attack into a merciless pursuit, and it looks like Gibbs is going to go down here. Oh, but he gets a kill.
Oh, he gets another.
Almost. But Kroll is here. This is dangerous. So Taka has to get away. He's able to with Kaku. We see a Solar Storm coming in from the side. That is a global ultimate, but only one of those stars will everything. So the rest of those Solar Storm stars will hit whatever is the first target. Got absorbed by jungle monsters on the way. Molt is just going to farm up. So
and we just saw right there, Molt nearly found that runaway NickAtNyte.
Yeah, so you'll see as Molt drops Spectral Smite, he'll regain health from that. You do not want to get caught in a 1v1 duel with Kroll. That is the situation you do not want to be in. He will Kroll you, and you'll see the health bars will start in one direction as Kroll takes burst damage, but then will go dramatically in the other direction as he's able to use his abilities. So you want to be able to gang up on Kroll. You don't want to 1v1 with him.
And those of you watching who haven't, just as a reminder, this game is Vainglory. It's the MOBA perfected for touch, an unapologetically core MOBA on iOS and now also on Android.
Completely free. Download it, give it a try.
So what we're watching now is Team Orange has a confident lead, and you see that they're moving in the jungle
flare goes
very
up, that's vision. All right. Taka might get caught out here. This could be a mistake. He might have to Kaku, but he gets caught with Hellraiser and gets stunned. He does go invisible in the box. That's when you see that cardboard box. He's invisible to the enemy team. There's a yummy catnip frenzy, but a reflex block prevents the lockdown, but it does go down.
No, it's on!
Pressing fire.
Oh, it's
is going
on!
to get caught. The slow, and he goes down a solar storm back the other way. It is fast and furious. LadyWabeesh, she's got Merciless Pursuit up. She can get a stun heal. She can peel for herself if she needs to, but she's just going to...
Oh, no.
And she's taking every landmine.
Oh, all the scout traps. Saw him gets caught with the heliogenesis as he tries to flee. Rhodey runs away from another scout trap. Just no peace for him, and he might get caught. All right, he's able to get out.
So close.
All right, so now we're up to 4-10. It's not completely over. You see the giant monster in the middle. That is the Kraken. He eats the gold miner at the 15-minute mark. He is just a pushing machine. Is really hard to kill. It's going to take your whole team, but if you manage to kill him, he's just going to rampage down the lane, pushing turrets. Normally he's accompanied by the team, and then the enemy team is forced to choose, do we want to fight this big scary monster, or do we want to fight the enemy team? Very hard, pick your poison, and certainly results in turrets going down.
So we're seeing again that Team Orange really feels confident in the jungle. We're noticing that they're moving around quite a bit. They're moving as a team. They're setting something up here. It looks like Gibbs doesn't know exactly where they are. We have all of Team Blue waiting for them in that bush. And the Team Orange, they're really confident. They're still moving. They're just looking around, trying to figure out where Team Blue is. Team Blue is just patiently waiting.
And Catherine has two options here. She can use her Blast Tremor ultimate to silence the enemy team to initiate a fight, or she can Merciless Pursuit to engage with a stun. But it looks like Orange team does not fall for it. So you see the ping there. LadyWabeesh wants them here. She wants to engage. And now that the team is up, she's getting poked. Is there something here? Can she get a stun off? Shin knows he's zoning with heliogenesis. We will see Taka getting caught out a little bit. A pouncy fun, but not too much damage done.
Again, this is Orange dominating. They have the harass because Celeste is just throwing down those heliogenesis.
You see, this is what it means to have an artillery mage in Vainglory, the newest hero. All the pushing power of these strengthened minions now. They're giving a lot of gold to the blue team, which will help them ultimately if they can hold off the assault and protect their turret. But the poke from Shin has just been super nasty. It's interesting to see how he's already playing Celeste with her really just released to live. There is a Merciless Pursuit looking for the stun on Shin on Celeste. A counter stun with from Hell's Heart. Gibbs is forced to retreat, and so nobody dies there. It is back and forth.
But Gibbs is bloodied. He's got to go. He cannot stay. He's not battle ready, and they know that. So they're going to just huddle up under their turret. They're going to be farming gold because at this point, when the enemy team holds both minion mines, their minions become more valuable to you. They're harder to kill, but they pay out more money. And the blue team knows they can recover in this game if they just hold their horses and farm up.
So Gibbs, instead of recalling to base, stopping in the middle shop, probably picking up a couple Halcyon potions, which will refill energy or refill health, whatever you need more. So he's able to stay on the battlefield. Koshkas often will fight when they're mid to low health anyway, just staying on the periphery of the battle, looking for an opportunity to pounce in and then get out with that extra speed boost that they get when abilities are triggered.
So Ed, what are you thinking of Team Blue's strategy right now? What would your advice to them be?
So I'm looking at the just itemization. They're fairly defensive.
Caught here. Stormguard into a Merciless Pursuit is reflex block. That prevents the ability from firing ultimately. So no stun there because of a clutch reflex block. And that is an activatable item that Celeste has. Along with Gibbs has a Crucible. That is essentially a team-wide reflex block that Gibbs can trigger for the team. So they're looking to counter LadyWabeesh on Catherine with some you have to really be fast and twitchy with your fingers, using the index finger on each hand to tap there on those Android devices, playing on the Android beta today. But if you can get reflex block off in time, you will be able to prevent something.
Okay, so finish what you were telling us, Ed. What was your advice here?
Yeah, so the blue team has just been able to shop, so this is the closest they're going to get to right now to equal strength. Red team has not shopped in a little while, so right now would be a great time to engage, but Catherine is too low. Catherine is too low. They
There's
can no
a
longer
solar
engage.
storm. It takes a little bit of saw, but only a couple of those stars hit on their way through. That is a global ultimate that can be fired from anywhere. It will hit structures, but will not damage them. Saw with a mad cannon from the back, that Saw skin. Koshka just trying to put hurt on the turret. Koshka probably willing to give up her life for this turret at this point, and that's why you'll see her aggress.
And the most unfortunate part of that last engage was LadyWabeesh taking harass again from Celeste, the artillery mage. It harassed her low enough that she was forced to go home to stay battle ready. She knew that they would be able to tower dive her, and at their level of strength, it would have been no good.
So you see there when Saw uses suppressing fire, he gets 12 stacks of spin up, each stack increasing his attack speed. He's an attack speed monster. So ideally he would trigger suppressing fire, catch someone in it with that crystal build, and then be able to follow up with that just incredible attack speed when people are in range. We'll see if he's able to do that in the next fight.
So let's take a look at our items really quick while we have a brief moment.
Yeah.
We have 2 players on Team Orange that are going strong blue. We always see a blue from Celeste, so that's no surprise. Koshka also tends to favor blue, which is crystal items. If you glance at their item trays, you can see that they're more one color than another. Right now, we also see that the teams are gathering up. They're bunching up. This happens towards late game when they're really going to need to stick together and have team tactics in order to be able to advance.
And Orange team knows Blue team cannot afford to let them take Kraken. That would be virtually GG. So what they're doing now is they're kind of laying in wait in the brush near the Kraken, because Blue team, unless they have a flare gun and can trigger it to see where Orange team is, at some point they would have to send someone down there, and there's the flare.
And
because you do not want to face check a brush and end up getting caught, because 2v3 in this situation could be very, very damaging for Blue. So Orange team looking to try to set something up near the Kraken pit. It's not going to work, and everyone's going to reposition.
And time right now is in Blue team's favor, because the longer this game goes, the more equal they will ultimately be in itemization. So right now, the red team's got to hurry up. If they want to make everything they can out of there.
LadyWabeesh looking to make something happen. There's a merciless pursuit into a blast tremor, which silences the enemy team. Mold has to back away. Gibbs tries to engage, and Crow went down.
Yeah, NickAtNyte got the kill while we were busy watching Koshka. NickAtNyte stuck in there. Oh, but Saw goes down from Gibbs. Now it's LadyWabeesh. She has to recall fast enough. She's got to get out of danger. She's so close to the turret. Get to the turret. Gibbs doesn't care. She goes down.
Storm.
Oh!
She goes down. Graves is taking turret aggro. He gets out far enough out of range, and this turret's going to fall. So again, just some high elo play, just very deliberate, very smart decisions results in another good sequence for Orange team, looking to pick up those NVIDIA shields off this match.
For newcomers to Vainglory, if you kill jungle monsters, your hero gains a healing buff. And if you notice Gibbs right now, rather than risking the time of going all the way back home and returning back out into the match, he's just going to run around the jungle and farm these jungle monsters, knowing that each one of the ones with those green hula hoops around them is going to grant him a restore. That blue oscillating disc underneath his feet shows that he is healing and gaining energy for each of those jungle monsters that he's killing.
And that red scout trap that you see there, that means that Orange team has a scout trap on the jungle shop. They'll know if if one blue team member tries to use that shop, Orange team will pounce and catch him out.
Do you want to talk about the players here a little bit? I'm not sure if we got to introduce them fully.
Oh, sure, yeah. So ShinKaigan, really high elo player. People watch his stream to see how they can play better. That's twitch.tv/ShinKaigan. Molt is gaming with Molt. We have Gibbs. He streams as Lol Gibbs, as well as he's got a dual stream with LadyWabeesh on Thursdays.
So and Koshka burst out.
Gibbs is going to
lockdown, but dies.
That was incredible zoning by Catherine. That is how you play Catherine.
Catches LadyWabeesh into a solar storm. She's going ham now. She's able to take out Celeste, and then she
That was all Catherine. Incredible Catherine plan. That's the ace.
Yeah. So now Zekent, he's got to use.
Can they take the Kraken? Can they take it?
Will they try? This is a very big decision, with having to see if they can get this done before an Orange team.
Death timers are long. They can get the Kraken. The death timers are 30 seconds still.
So again, for those that don't know, the Kraken, this powerful monster in the middle, if you capture the Kraken, then it will fight on your side, and it will walk down the lane, destroying and wrecking havoc on the enemy team until it reaches their main crystal.
All those cannon shells.
Oh, and it's on.
So here now, what's important is they're going to quickly buy, but they want to stay with the Kraken, and they want to take as many turrets here as they can. So they don't even have the outer turret. So if they're going to get back into this match, this is their one chance. This is it right here. They have to do as much damage as they possibly can, but they're also going to have to be smart about when they pull back. They cannot get too greedy or too bloodthirsty here. They have to take what they can get, and then they have to back away, because if they give up a counter ace, it's all for naught.
And more importantly, at this phase of the game, a counter ace means they will likely lose. They don't have enough turret strength, and the other team has enough DPS to be able to make this happen. And NickAtNyte, a brilliant box to escape both ultimates.
So I gotta say, I would prefer in this situation to see LadyWabeesh staying with Taka, so they have a chance to accompany the Kraken and force the orange team to choose between fighting the Kraken and fighting the blue team. They didn't even get that turret out of it because they weren't there to force orange team to make a decision. So
they got one turret,
yeah,
but they didn't get that second, and
I think
really
they could have
needed that second.
I think they could have if they had stayed together and they had forced orange team to decide who they were going to fight. But they do get both minion mines here. This is going to reset the enemy team's minions back to original strength. So it buffs their minions and it nullifies it, it debuffs the enemy minions. So that's going to be very important as blue looks to pounce. They're laying in wait here. Will
it's LadyWabeesh here. She needs to engage on
There's the engage.
And the
a
second.
blast tremor, a crucible reflex block for the entire team. Gibbs able to stay alive with the yummy catnip frenzy, but it goes down. So now blue team, there is another merciless pursuit for a stun on Celeste. Looking to take out Molt now as an X-Res who goes up to Celeste. Can Catherine trade? She cannot trade with Krull. Again, that 1v1 situation.
That's it. Oh,
nobody can 1v1
incredible.
with Krull, but Taka able to box and get out. A second ace for blue team. Maybe the comeback is real.
I cannot believe this. Like, this is an actual swing, people.
Yeah.
This is, blue team, if you notice on kills, they are behind on kills. 11 to 14, and behind on gold, but they are playing very smart. And again, it was the choice of having a Catherine, that tank that initiate on their team, that really helps swing decisively those team fights more in their favor. So in late game, that's really paying off for them. George and Zekent, I mean, Zekent can just sit in the back, and using Saw's Mad Cannon, using Saw's Suppressing Fire, he can absolutely capitalize on every opportunity Wabeesh gives him.
And there's a lot on the line for us, honestly, because if Shin wins this match, it guarantees we have a side bet. It guarantees he gets to take over our official dev stream on a future Friday, and I don't know what he's going to do with that stream. He could do Ultimate Bravery, he could do anything with it. So, at least if Zekent's team wins tonight, then because Miss Vixen's team won yesterday, won that awesome trophy, we would have to go to KDA as a tiebreaker for who wins the side bet. If Zekent wins on KDA, then we would get to take over ShinKaigan's stream.
Yep.
So I don't know what he's going to do with our stream, so we'll see what happens here. I personally, I'm pulling for Zekent. I'm pulling for blue team.
What are you thinking here at the Shred?
What I'm thinking is what is really holding back Orange team right now is their lack of defense. They're a very offensively blue-built team, and they actually do not have much defense against the blue team's itemization. So right now, they may actually lose this next team fight. Unless they are able to lock down Zekent in particular, they may lose this team fight. So this is the big one. The next team fight may decide the game.
Both teams are very aware of each other and are trying to taunt the other into making a mistake. Again, we need to be keeping an eye out here on LadyWabeesh. She is going to be the indicator. It's all Team Blue has to start.
They're looking for something. No, the lane minions. And like you were saying, when you see those yellow items, the shield items in the itemization, that counters blue, that counters crystal. If you see a bronze color, that's armor, which counters the red, which is the weapon power, the basic attack power.
And a flare gun goes up from Team Blue. They want to know exactly where the orange team is. Again, you can buy a flare gun for money, but it's going to be burned and used only once. It gives you vision on the enemy team. They feel a little bit confident here with LadyWabeesh guarding the
very
from the
far
jungle.
up. LadyWabeesh, she wants to engage. They want it, but
that's
there's a yummy catnip frenzy. So
and she's done
out of it. So that doesn't go off. Now it's just anarchy.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
The Mad Cannon takes out Koshka. There's still Mad Cannon shells that he can deliver to Krull.
And
He's going to get caught with a merciless pursuit. He goes down, a Solar Storm the other way, but it's not enough. Another turret, so the turnaround is real here.
Now the question is, do they go for the Kraken? The Kraken has respawned, or do they push down the lane?
So right now, this is an amazing comeback for Team Blue. They are really dominating, mostly made by these plays by LadyWabeesh. Her stun on that Koshka ultimate.
There's a steal. There's a steal attempt.
Here we go.
Genesis, he's looking at Supernova. He wants to trigger the Supernova when he has a chance to steal, but instead he chooses to back away.
And they have to give up the Kraken. And this is really bad for Team Orange. With Kraken out, that means that they're going to have to really lay out some DPS in order to get it down. Kraken usually can take out up to 2 turrets without without being escorted. Now, if Team Blue does it right, they're going to stay in the field. As you're noticing, they're going to buy in the shop. They got a Kraken buff that's going to heal them briefly, and they should be escorting this Kraken into the enemy base to try to capitalize on really taking out the Vein Crystal.
And the biggest issue there was that Celeste's ultimate Solar Storm was on cooldown. ShinKaigan is talented enough, skilled enough to be able to do that global ultimate and steal a Kraken, but it was on cooldown, so he didn't have much recourse and ultimately had to back off.
Kraken is going down quickly. Look at that. Barely touched the first turret.
And this is ShinKaigan. If you notice, he has double Shatter Glass on Celeste. Shatter Glass, again, the biggest crystal item that you can get, and Celeste, who synergizes so effectively with Crystal, she is really hitting like a powerhouse here, and he was a sincere threat against that Kraken take,
and
but
really
again,
important.
had it on cooldown.
Oh, there's Kaku. He's probably looking to X-Retsu. So when he's in that cardboard box, he's invisible to Team Orange. That's why no one attacked him there. That is what the home team, your team, sees, and the enemy team just sees him as invisible.
Yes.
Which is hard to explain, but that was the fun way. The players loved that it's a cardboard box instead of a shadow or something. But anyway.
So Team Blue is going to rinse and repeat, do the same thing that they did before. They're sticking together tight. They're going to wait for LadyWabeesh to initiate. They have several team items that are going to give them benefits and technical leanings in the next team fight. You see that they have a Fountain of Renewal, which is awesome. LadyWabeesh is going to trigger that.
And quickly, I want to say before the next team fight, when you kill the Kraken, you get a massive gold payout for your entire team. So that's important. It gives Orange team a chance to shop if they have any additional shopping they want to do this late in the match. A yummy Cat of Frenzy, but it's reflex blocked into a core collapse, which traps a Solar Storm, and it's Anarchy as Gibbs is going to go down. And he does.
And 2 are down.
Saw goes down as well. LadyWabeesh under fire here. She'll need to Merciless Pursuit away. She turns the opposite direction of Taka, which might be a problem. Celeste coming around the opposite side. That is a dead man's rush into LadyWabeesh. She's looking for a way to escape. 2 seconds to her next dash. She gets caught with a little poke from Heliogenesis. She doesn't know where to go, and it's done. It's done. So Celeste basic attacks, which finished her off there. They have a crystal power component, so all that crystal power from Celeste.
That's right. She did buy a lot of time for her team, though. She bought a lot of time for her team right there. Yep.
And Team Orange they know how big this is. They are not going to sit by and let this advantage go.
What is Taka doing? So he boxes to get out of that brush without being seen, but he's got a recall now. He's got a recall. He's just way too far away from the action now, and Orange is going to sense it. They might even tank this turret, and it looks like it will. Kroll is perfectly capable of tanking a turret. There you see a dead man's rush. He's going to Spectral Smite this turret, and there it goes down. So a big turret for Orange team.
This is incredibly close. It is absolutely anyone's game. There are exactly 2 turrets left for both teams. Both teams are out for blood at this point. I actually am not sure which one's going to win.
A typical Vainglory match, you would say, usually 18 to 22 minutes is what our averages tell us. So this is a pretty epic encounter right here.
Very, very late game going on right now.
Yeah. All right.
The next team fight decides the game.
So Catherine went double proc. So this is not LadyWabeesh's normal build. That means she's going to hit like a Mack truck. You see the glowing red on her hands. That's a tension bow ready to proc. Aftershock will also proc on her first attack. So she will Merciless Pursuit in, and then she will do a big chunk of damage. So she's going a very interesting direction herself.
Team Blue, again, they are warming up right here. And LadyWabeesh is in, and that's it. That's it. Kroll goes down. They have the advantage.
Now 3 versus 2. What can they do?
So
the Kraken has just come up.
LadyWabeesh is going to just look for another Merciless Pursuit here. She doesn't want to get too far away from Zekent. Oh, she's going to just start Kraken. They're going to start Kraken. So they're going to force a fight. This is probably not a real Kraken attempt as much as it is to force Orange Team to engage. We'll see. They'll just keep doing it until Orange Team forces a fight.
And right now, Gibbs thinks that he's just going to run it. He's just going to run it. He's going to just run it.
Solar Storm is up, and there it is. Oh, he almost stole it.
He almost stole it.
But you see that the health bar is blue. That means blue team captured it. Oh, but you saw the attempt there. He couldn't do it last time. He tried it this time.
Gibbs has let go of his attempt. He's going back home. Both Celeste and Gibbs are going to have to try to take down the Kraken.
Is that the 3rd Kraken?
That is the third Kraken.
I honestly cannot remember since launch. Maybe I've seen 1 game with 3 Krakens. You guys, if you're new to Vainglory, you have to understand this is extremely rare to see a 3 Kraken match.
They need to escort the Kraken. Right now, the Kraken will not do the job on its own. There's too much damage. The Orange team has too much damage. They've got to escort it. So this will be really interesting.
So looking to not get picked off as LadyWabeesh did not accompany the team. Again, just being very cautious. Gold a little bit less important this late in the game as most players are at full gold, but Krull is not.
Oh
Krull
man,
can
and
take
see,
advantage of the gold.
and that was it right there. They took
Yeah.
the Kraken, but the Kraken, they did not escort the Kraken, and the Kraken just fell to damage before it could be effective. It managed one blow against one turret. This was not the best strategy from Team Blue,
and
who had the advantage there.
The players have tactical pings that each other can see, and there you might have wanted to use those tactical pings to say, group up here, come to us. They're looking to set up a fight here. LadyWabeesh with a Merciless Pursuit and an X-Resu right on top of it. They've got that combination working. A Solar Storm nails Taka, and he's forced to retreat, but you can see they've got something going now, which is an engage with Merciless Pursuit and immediately an ultimate from Taka, that X-Retsu, which just chunks a big chunk of life right out.
And they now hold both minion mines, which means their minions are strong. This is the ingredients for the final push.
So they
have 3 versus 2 strong lane minions. Let's see what happens.
They found something that works, but Taka is not here. And his boots are on cooldown. LadyWabeesh being very aggressive. There's a Merciless Pursuit on Gibbs. A yummy Catnip Frenzy is reflex block. It is not a lockdown. Another clutch reflex block from Zekent. There's a Supernova. There's a Pouncy Fun engage. Gibbs forced to back off. And now Taka catches up, so this is very important for the blue team.
15 seconds of 3 versus 2.
Will they go? No, Zekent.
He's going home.
Zekent backing off, and orange team knows it because they used a flare.
They are going for the longest Vainglory game in history.
Yeah.
I think this is an attempt for the Guinness Book of Records.
Yeah.
We saw Prodigy X yesterday. He holds a Guinness record for Rock Band 2.
That's right.
I don't know. We'll
This
see
is
if
clearly
it is
another
set
attempt.
today. All right.
Team Orange, not sure what they're gonna do. You can see that they're buying, they're shopping up, they're just hugging their platform. Not sure what their strategy is here.
They just want to make sure so right now, this late in the game, you might even see someone sell an item and get another pair of boots and try to backdoor. You know, if you are able to tank a turret because you have enough damage output, you can end the match, and that's why you see Orange Team is being tentative. They know that Taka, using that box to go invisible, he can very easily sneak behind the enemy team and finish off a turret. So they're being careful here to not lose when they don't even realize that someone is in their base.
Both teams are staying heavily grouped up. We have Team Orange coming around, and ShinKaigan is dropping Heliogenesis stars in every single bush as they go. Heliogenesis stars actually reveal enemies inside bushes, and so while it burns a little bit of his cooldown and his energy, he's exploring, he's looking around, he's trying to figure out where are these guys, while his teammates are just pushing back these blue minions.
So Saw not only has Crystal, but has Shield Pierce, very important. It's going to make even more damage output. We talked about double proc Catherine. Taka with Critical Strike, which synergizes really well with his crit. He gets stacks that give him extra critical strikes. Sorrow Blade for extra weapon power and extra attack speed. So one weapon, one double proc hybrid, and one Crystal build.
LadyWabeesh, again, she's sticking to that bush. She's looking for the opportunity. She knows that they have the threat as long as she's in front of her teammates, that the Orange team can't do much against them. Orange team is just staying at range, and they're letting ShinKaigan just lob those stars into the middle, hoping that he's going to be able to harass them into a position in which they'll have the tactical advantage.
He's the only one who can harass and poke like that. So they're just going to do everything they can with it, and when it supernovas, it will catch people with a wider radius for damage.
And this game hinges right now on what LadyWabeesh does. It's her initiate on that team that will end up telling, and ShinKaigan doesn't care! He goes in!
Caution kick goes up!
That's the lead!
Yummy Catnip Frenzy and a Crow Sword for a lockdown into a core collapse for another stun attempt. It doesn't work, but Zekent is going to go down.
And Wabeesh, she's got to run!
So there's a Storm Guard. Can she stay alive? It is unlikely here. Storm Guard, and she goes down. That is an ace. Will this do it? Very likely. The timers are so huge. You could even make an argument to just push right now, even without Kraken. But they happen to be in the pit, so they're going to do it anyway. But so with those timers so long at this epically long match, now with the ace buff, they just don't care. They just want to get to that turret as fast as possible. They don't care where their lane minions are. So
They're not even waiting for the Kraken. Somebody's going to tank this.
Celeste doesn't want to tank. She's the squishiest of the three. Gibbs goes in.
Yeah, look
This
at that
brings
damage.
down.
Look at that damage.
Look at that damage.
Look at that
The
damage.
turrets
Gonna be
go
up,
down
it's not
like
gonna
no
matter.
armor.
Goodness.
This is GG. It's not going to matter.
Team Orange recovering for the play.
Incredible.
Congratulations,
Incredible
Team
game.
Orange.
An extra solar storm to punctuate the victory. Incredible job.
How did you
This
land
is
that?
Vainglory. It is free on the App Store. Android beta is live. It's free. Check it out. What do you got to lose?
That was a one hit.
And let's take a look at